A lot of you all have been asking us about the SEST880, the ST30 Pro, and we have a whole host of other smart guitars. So what exactly is a smart guitar? Now you're probably familiar with the electric guitar and the fact that you need an effects unit like a processor or an amplifier or some kind of device that enhances the tone and gives you different options, right? From clean to overdrive to distortion and your effects and everything. And for that, you need to carry a separate unit like a processor, or sometimes even you have amplifiers that have these effects on board. But now we are in the era of technology, which is why these smart guitars have these processors inbuilt right into the guitar. So just the guitar itself, you can see on both of these, they have these fancy looking knobs with some things written on it. And what these smart guitars do is they take that onboard processor, they put the technology into the guitar itself, which is really cool, and it also makes it convenient for a guitarist not having to carry too many things. In addition to that, you'll actually see on both these guitars, it actually has a headphone out. So now you don't need a separate amplifier to, get your sound out for your practice or anything. You can just plug in your headphones right into the jack here. So wherever you are, a lot of people these days live in dormitory rooms, they live in shared accommodations, or you're living in like a space where you can't really play your guitar out loud. With the headphones, you can really crank up the volume and not disturb your neighbors and have them call the cops on you. So that's the story about smart guitars. So about 2 years ago, Enya introduced the first smart guitar, which was the Novago Sonic, and we had Aditya talk about that.
Sonic, you cut out all of that. You now have a speaker, so you don't, when you're practicing at home, you basically don't have to plug it into an amp. You have the effect, so you just turn it on, have a speaker out here.
So now we've come a long way from then. Those were carbon fiber guitars with the onboard amplifier and all that. But now we have these guitars, which are actually wood guitars. They have poplar bodies on them. And they have some really cool pickups, but in addition to that, they have the processor on the guitar itself. So this looks like a fairly standard electric guitar, but as soon as you plug it in, you'll see these lights come on and you have all these effects available to you. And just like that, we have two guitars with us today. One is the SEST880 by SQOE, and the other one is the ST30 Pro by Strydom. So Varun, you and I come from the old school era of guitars where we've seen analog boards and big analog amps, to processors, and now to everything in this one guitar. So what are your thoughts on the smart guitar age?
It's pretty cool. It's the funny thing is anything futuristic has been done in the 80s. So
yes.
They did try it somewhat in the 80s, but then the whole 80s thing was you had like refrigerator racks.
Pretty much.
But it's pretty cool, like it's all condensed right here, and you can change the patches by just one flick of a button.
Yes.
And I played a few sounds. Some certain sounds are really like happening. They really inspire you to play in a certain way.
Yes.
Those kind of sounds. And some sounds you might have to dial in, but you really get close to getting a usable sound really quick.
Yeah, even like maybe 3-4 years ago, if I'd asked you like, could you imagine having all this in like a solid body wood guitar?
Yeah, and especially just nobody would even see you change the patch.
Yeah,
it just quickly you went from clean to distortion. So it's pretty spectacular how it's all just hidden inside. Yeah.
And as a touring musician, you do a lot of gigs where you've got to travel. What do you think about having just everything in one guitar?
Yeah, I'll trip my bandmates out. Like, what is happening?
Absolutely.
Nah, but it's pretty cool. Like you have to change sound. If you can, I believe we have the app.
Yes.
As well, where you can program the sounds in.
Yes.
So if you can manage your set list in a way, you could actually pull it off.
Oh.
It'll be pretty interesting. Maybe one day we might get to doing that.
Yes.
Okay, that's a plan for the future. Yeah.
Yeah, technology always advancing, and let's do a deep dive into each of these guitars. Let's start off with actually the ST30 Pro that I've got with me, and Varun's going to play a bit on it and cycle through some of the sounds. So take a listen. that was the ST30 Pro by Strydom. As you know, Strydom has been one of our long-standing brands. Very successful with their standard electric guitars like the ST30, the ST20, and so on. Now this guitar is actually a full wood guitar. It's got a poplar body. It's got a nice roasted maple neck and fretboard. And you can see on board we have a processor. It's got an active and passive switch. What that does is it actually lets you operate the guitars like a normal standard guitar if you have an amp or a processor. But at the same time, if you're a gigging musician and you need your guitar to do multiple things, you can straight up switch to the active mode, and that engages the onboard processor. Now what I love that Strydom has done is they've kept it really simple. You don't change your patches on the app or anything. This comes with just everything on board. So you have a knob here that lets you toggle between clean, you have a clean and reverb patch, you've got an overdrive, you've got the distortion, then you've got a distortion plus delay that gives you like these really 80s sounds delays. Now these are fairly standard patches that anyone can use in whatever genre of music you're playing at. In addition to that, you've got a tone knob which controls the tone, but what this doubles up is as a push button, and you've got 3 gain stages. So the light out here will change from green to blue to red, and that's an increasing order of gain. So just like you would have the input going into an amplifier and you tweak the gain up, you can do that right on the guitar itself. And of course you have your volume control. And Varun, you've just played some of these sounds. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, as far as the patches go, they're pretty usable. You could see me that I changed the gain stage on a few patches. I tweaked the sounds a little bit on the go, and it's all there. That's the best part.
Yeah.
So pretty good sounds. I mean, as you hear, it's got some nice overdrive tones, some really sustained forever sort of distortion tones. The very last bit that I did.
The big stadium kind of sound.
Yeah, it's there. And you can tweak that with the gain stage as well. So,
absolutely.
So it's not just one tone, it's like 3 tones sitting right besides it.
Yes.
3 variations of each tone.
Each tone,
basically.
yep.
So pretty cool. And as far as the guitar goes, it's a standard electric. Playability is great. Everything is there. And it's like nothing stopping you from being creative. Like it's just there. You don't have to plug in anything and change to bend down and change on your effects, but it's all here.
Yeah, at our age with the back
ease
problems.
of use for me was the biggest
ease of use for sure.
Like limelight for me.
It's definitely what we've been going for with the smart guitars. With Strydom, obviously you always have good neck construction, good playability. So that was the ST30 Pro, and this retails at under 20,000 rupees. So it's like you're buying an ST30 and you're getting like a little guitar processor. In addition, you get obviously the headphone out and those kind of features. So now let's move to the SQOE. Now that's by SQOE. So now that's got a little more happening in terms of the smart technology on there. Again, it's a standard electric guitar, poplar body. This one's got a rosewood fretboard with a roasted maple neck. You're still getting the roasted maple on there. It's got some nice Alnico 5 pickups. Now this operates a little differently because you've got these two buttons here to turn them on and off. This also operates in the active and passive mode. So again, you're getting a standard electric guitar if you require that, and you have the onboard processor if that's what you need. And you have these three knobs that double up as buttons, and I'll get to each function shortly. So you start off with the volume, which is just a standard volume, and the tone. But these also double up as buttons, which are going to help change your patches. So we can toggle between the sounds on these two buttons. And as you just heard, we started off with like just the clean basic sound, which had a normal amp. And then as we went through the sounds, you had certain overdrive sounds, you had some choruses happening there. And this volume again functions as like the input volume, so you can roll it off if you want to clean it up a little. You want the edge or breakup tone. There's so many variations that you can do without having an onboard processor. Coming to the tone, it functions as a normal tone knob, so you can again get a little more sounds. Now you're probably wondering, okay, this just has these three buttons. How do you control your sound? As in this, you had the gain control, and that's where it gets really interesting because this comes with app connectivity. There's a company called Double that makes these processors and pickups, and you have the Double Plus app that will let you connect to this. And now once you're in app territory, you have a whole host of control. So right now we're on this patch that had a chorus in, and I've just turned it off. I'm also going to turn off the reverb. So right now you've just got compression that's on. So
okay, let me check it out. All right.
So now I'm going to just add in some chorus. Now I'm just going to, just to get a little crazy, let's increase this depth. Now what's really cool is you can actually upload some IRs on here. So right now I've turned off the amp sim. So you can just play that. All right. So these are actually, they've got some 57 Celestion speakers on here. And I've got my input at max and the output as well. And I've got the EQ fairly flat with a little treble on there. Now I'm just going to turn on the reverb. Sounds like this really big hall. As soon as I roll it back. And in addition to that, if you go like this is the effector section, you actually have a master control, and you can see on that it's got the input gain, the output gain, all the different levels that you have. All of that, even this has Bluetooth connectivity. So all of these are controllable using the console that's available. In addition to that, you obviously get like a metronome function, a tuner. So these are just utility tools that you have available to you, especially if you're a live musician, or even if you're practicing at home and you don't want to take too many things out. This continues with the idea of a smart guitar being everything in the box, and a cell phone is something that you carry with you everywhere you go anyway. Alright, so I mean, I've given you a little bit of an overview of the app control. So Varun, what are your thoughts on an electric guitar being controlled by a smartphone?
Yeah, pretty interesting. So the best part is you don't have to like plug in into your rig or any setup. The setup is right there with you. So it's kind of funny. You show up to a gig or a jam session and people will ask you, where's your effects processor?
Yes.
This is it. Where's your rig? This is it. Where's your amplifier? This is it. Okay, so it's all there. And so that's the interesting bit, and you can just plug in your earphones and possibly sit in your bedroom, 20 minutes before you go to sleep, just try some ideas out. And all these effects sort of help you to stay inspired, basically. Just keep playing more.
Always be inspired.
Keep playing more and more and more, and keep messing around with things. Your phone's right there, so you can
absolutely
try out your favorite sort of settings and try to copy the music that you like. Try to get those settings in, and you get to learn as well. So I'm gonna like pretty intensively use all this.
Yeah, right now, just now when we were messing with the app, there's this temptation, let's turn the reverb way up and listen to the sound, and maybe that inspires something. Just having it easily available. So that's a really cool feature. And talking about ideas and songwriters, a lot of times you kind of need something in the background to just keep your timing, keep going. And this also comes with a drum machine. So if you want to just so these two buttons let you toggle between the different types of grooves. So you have 4x4, 6x8 different styles, and the lowest knob here, it says drum on it, that actually controls the tempo. So you can slow it down. Alright, so now we've heard both of these guitars, we've heard how they sound, we've talked about what their features are. So just a head-to-head comparison. Now when you get one of these guitars, you're going to notice a significant price difference. This comes in at just under 20,000 rupees, and that comes in at under 30,000 rupees. There's about a 10,000 rupee difference between them. What's common is, of course, they're both smart guitars. They come with their own gig bags. They're both Strat style guitars with a tremolo, so you get the tremolo arm, roasted maple necks, popular bodies, great pickups. But coming to the ST30 Pro, now what you get on this one is an onboard processor, and all your tones are on the guitar itself. So you have these 5 patches with the 3 gain stages, and that's about it in terms of tone control. Everything is here. There's no app connectivity where you can actually tweak different things, whether it's the gain, the chorus level, or anything like that. You can't really tweak that. When it comes to the ST30 that's where it really ups its game. The actual onboard processor comes with a lot more features, and that's what you're paying for. First off, there's the drum machine that comes in, that's great for practice. But most importantly, you have the app control, and as you must have just seen, the app control has a lot of features on that. It's like having a DAW or like a software plugin where you can adjust individual parameters, whether it's the IRs that you load in, whether it's the level of reverbs, choruses, delays, all of that gets controlled as if it was a real world pedal board and a real world amp. That's something that may or may not be a requirement depending on what your use case is, but it's definitely something great to have, in addition to the fact that it has all the features like headphone output and things like that. This also comes with a chargeable processor, so a C-type charger, whereas this one actually has batteries in here. There's 3 AA size batteries, just keeping things simple from, again, depending on what your use case is. So when it comes to Strydom on the ST30 Pro, there is a reason why they have not introduced a lot of the features that you see on the 880. For instance, like the drum machine, after speaking to a lot of musicians, they've realized that the drum machine may not be a necessity for most musicians, especially if you're taking this on stage, as in a performance venue. You want to have your effects and everything, but you already have a drummer. So that was one feature where they opted out. They said, okay, let's simplify it, not put that in. Secondly, with the actual batteries, a lot of people prefer just having batteries that are swappable, because people forget to charge guitars, they forget to charge phones, and when you're on stage, you don't want to have to be reaching out for a charger. It's a lot easier to just swap out batteries. So this is again a call that Strydom took, just based on their analysis of guitar players and their analysis of market. It's purely a choice based upon what your requirements are. That's what it will serve. So you actually have 2 options with different different functions, and that gives you just a little more flexibility when you're looking for a smart guitar. So that was it for smart guitars. Again, this is the ST30 Pro by Strydom, that is the ST30 by SQOE. Both of these incredible guitars pushing the edge of technology forward, and we'll probably see a lot more of this in the future. Till then, let us know in the comments, what do you think about the whole concept of smart guitars. Between these 2 guitars, what do you think? What features suit you more, something that doesn't suit you more? Do let us know, and we will do an in-depth tutorial on these guitars just to explain to you each individual features. Obviously, that requires much more information in terms of technology. And till then, we'll see you on the next one.